The joke was Mirren's idea. She thought it would be funny. A human on a deep-crust survey mission. Something to tell at the crew lounge back on Station Delhi. "You should have seen his face when we hit the pressure layer," she would say, and everyone would laugh. And the human would be a footnote in a story about alien incompetence. His name was Jack. Jack Mercer. He arrived at the shuttle dock with a duffel bag, a battered data tablet, and a smile so wide it looked structurally unsound. He was shorter than every member of our 6-person team. His skull lacked the cranial ridges that allowed Delvari like myself to sense subsurface vibration. He had no secondary eyelids, no thermal skin layer, no prehensile tail for anchor bracing in unstable terrain. He was, by every biological metric, the least qualified organism for a deep geological survey of Verith 9. He was also, as I would later understand, the most dangerous kind of creature in the known galaxy, the kind that doesn't know when to quit. Verith 9 is a Class 4 tectonic world. Beautiful from orbit, catastrophic up close. The survey brief called for core sample collection at 17 points across the Felrath Basin, a region of ancient volcanic uplift where mineral deposits of extraordinary value had been detected. The mission was rated hazardous moderate. Our team, myself, Mirren, the twin Gorith engineers Sef and Yolu, our medic Dren, and our pilot Emma, had all completed the certification. We had the equipment, the experience, and the instincts. Jack had a geology degree from a place called Colorado and a thermos of something called gas station coffee that he defended with the territorial ferocity of a nesting cave beast. We did not take him seriously. That was our first mistake. The trouble began at Survey 7. We were 40 meters underground in a drill bore access shaft, collecting samples from a magnesium silicate vein, when Jack stopped walking. Just stopped. He stood perfectly still in the middle of the passage. His eyes, those flat, forward-facing predator eyes that all humans have, went distant. "Do you hear that?" he said. No one heard anything. "Jack," Mirren said, not unkindly. "Your auditory range is literally the narrowest of anyone on this team. If you're hearing something, that means low frequency," he said. "Real low. Like a hum in my chest more than my ears." Dren checked his scanner. Nothing on the seismic array. Jack crouched and pressed his bare palm flat against the tunnel floor. We watched him. It was a strange sight. This short, smooth-skinned mammal with his hand on raw rock, eyes closed, jaw set. He stayed that way for 11 seconds. I counted. Then he stood up and said very calmly, "We need to move right now. All of us. Back toward the shaft entrance. Don't run. Just walk fast." "The sample collection isn't finished," Sef said. "Leave it. Jack. The seismic sensors show nothing. The sensors are measuring the wrong layer." His voice had changed. Something in it was different. Flat. Precise. Certain. Not the cheerful man who had argued passionately about the correct way to make instant noodles the night before. Someone else entirely. "There's a secondary fault line about 60 meters south-southeast of us. The harmonic signature means it's already slipping. We have maybe 4 minutes before the pressure wave reaches this passage." Mirren looked at me. I looked at Dren. None of our instruments showed anything. We walked fast anyway. I don't know why. Something in his voice. We were 30 meters from the surface when the tunnel behind us collapsed. Not a small collapse. Not a crack and settle. The entire southern section of the passage compressed like a folded cloth. 300 tons of Verith decided all at once that it was tired of holding itself up. The sound was enormous. The shock wave knocked Yolu off her feet. Dren caught her. I ran. We all ran then because it didn't matter anymore whether we looked professional. We made the surface with 40 seconds to spare. We stood in the pale orange light of Verith 9's sun, breathing hard, covered in rock dust, staring at the hole in the ground that had, until very recently, been our access shaft. Jack drank from his thermos. "How?" Mirren said. "How did you know?" He shrugged. "Spent 2 summers doing seismic survey work in the Rockies. You learn to feel the mountain." He paused. "Also, the coffee helps. Caffeine makes you more sensitive to vibration. Probably. That is not scientifically." "We're alive," Mirren said. She closed her mouth. We should have returned to the shuttle. That was the protocol. Compromised survey site. Team safety uncertain. Abort mission. Emma had the engines warm before we even reached the landing zone. But our core sample array, 6 months of pre-mission equipment preparation, was still down there. And the mineral readings from points 12 through 17 were extraordinary. Career-defining. The kind of data that gets a survey team promoted, funded, remembered. Jack looked at the collapse site, then at the map, then at the data readings on his tablet. There's another access point, he said. If we come in from the eastern ridge, we avoid the fault zone entirely. Different rock strata. More stable. That route isn't in the survey plan, Dren said. The survey plan didn't know about the fault. It adds 2 hours. It adds 2 hours, Jack agreed. And it doesn't kill us, which I'm kind of attached to as an outcome. Emma laughed. She was the first one to laugh. And then somehow we were all following Jack Mercer up the eastern ridge in the fading light of a hostile world. Trusting a human with a coffee thermos and a geology degree from Colorado. He got us through points 8, 9, and 10 without incident. At 11, he identified a surface gas vent that our atmospheric sensors had flagged as trace level, but that he insisted was venting at a dangerous concentration at ground level. Something about the way the dust was moving. He was right. At 14, he climbed a 40-meter rock face to reposition a sensor array that had landed badly during the initial drop. Free climbing in reduced gravity with a cheerfulness that genuinely disturbed me. Are you not afraid? I asked him when he came back down. He thought about it. Sure, but being afraid doesn't mean you stop. That, I later learned, is perhaps the most human sentence ever spoken. We recovered all 17 sample sets. We were back at the shuttle by midnight local time. Emma ran the post-mission checklist. Dren treated 2 minor lacerations, one being Yolu's, one being Jack's, which he had apparently sustained during the climb and mentioned to no one. Seth and I catalogued the samples. Mirren filed the incident report for the tunnel collapse. I found Jack sitting outside the shuttle on a flat rock, looking up at the stars. He had finished his coffee. He was just sitting there, quiet, which was unusual for him. I sat beside him. Mirren set this up as a joke, I said. Having you on the team? I know, he said. You knew. Pretty obvious. Nobody briefs a mission specialist on a survey deployment with 4 hours notice unless something unusual is happening. He didn't sound angry, just matter of fact. I figured it was a test or a prank. Either way, same response. What response is that? He picked up a small piece of Verith and turned it over in his fingers. Just do the work. Do it well. See what happens. I thought about this for a long time. You saved our lives today, I said. We saved each other's lives today, he said. That's how field teams work. He handed me the rock. A piece of the silicate vein. Smooth on one side, rough on the other. A souvenir from a mountain that had tried to swallow us and failed. I still have it on my desk. The official survey report credits the team collectively for the successful completion of Mission Verith 9, including the discovery of the secondary fault formation, which has since been named the Mercer slip in geological records. The mineral data from the 17 sample points was, as anticipated, extraordinary. Mirren never told the joke she planned to tell. Instead, she told a different one. About the time a human felt an earthquake with his bare hands and saved a team of alien surveyors who had been laughing at him 6 hours earlier. The punchline, she says, is always the same. Never count out the species that learned geology by standing on mountains until the mountains talked.